Hi, I'm Liz McDonald and I'm teaching yoga at my studio here in Los Angeles called Brazilian Yogas and Pilates. Today we're going to do a couple of poses to aid digestion, and the main thing that these poses have in common is that we're going to be stimulating the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a nerve that runs from the cranium all the way into the abdomen, and it's the kind of thing that keeps our brain and our stomach talking to each other, so it keeps that relationship healthy in terms of when I'm hungry, when I'm not hungry, and during digestion as well. So these can be a little bit painful at first. They definitely take time to actually soften into them. And I'm going to show you two different poses that you can do. If the second one is too intense, you're welcome to stay more time in the first pose. For the first pose, we're going to need a blanket. We're going to take just any old blanket that we can get about an inch thickness on after we fold it up, and we're going to want it to be about a mat width. Then we're going to roll it up, make a little burrito, and place it to the side. We want to make sure that our knees are directly in front of our hips and we're comfortably seated on our heels. If that's hard for you to do, you can take a second blanket and you can pad up your heels a little bit so that your bunda has a bit of a cushion. Meanwhile, we're going to take this guy and roll it up. We want it to fit right in the soft section of our belly. We're about to bend forward. Before we do so, we want to inhale and really stretch the spine long in both directions. Exhale to start folding over the blanket. We want the ribs to clear the edge of the blanket, so that might take a second to settle in. And then slowly walk the fingers forward, bringing the head down to the mat. Now my roll feels a little bit thick, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up again and I'm going to show you the pose again. I'm going to roll this guy a little bit tighter. Place it across my thighs, get my spine a little bit longer, and then kind of lay it down piece by piece until I really feel the ribs clearing. So what this does is it stimulates the vagus nerve and kind of smooshes everything toward the spine a little bit. Now it's going to be a little painful at first, and the reason is because we don't do this every day. But that tenderness will subside if you keep breathing and relaxing. You can stay in this pose anywhere from 5 to infinite breaths. And whenever you're finished, go ahead and slowly use the hands to walk up. And you'll find that it's actually quite a lot of work. It doesn't look like much, but you'll feel flushed a little bit because we've just stimulated our entire digestion and circulatory systems. So the next thing that we're going to do to kind of bump it up a notch is we're going to lay on top of the roll. This one I give a shout out to Anna Forrest. I learned this in a workshop that she gave recently, and it was very effective. So we're going to place the blanket on our mat so that it's width-wise. And then this is going to be the place right again where that soft part of our belly lands. So you kind of want to estimate that. And then come forward, bring the hands forward on the mat, and then slowly, slowly, slowly walk the knees back. And find that soft spot. It's probably already talking to you after you did the last exercise. You can even feel that nerve pulsating a little bit. We're going to inhale, catch our breath. Lengthen the spine again. We're kind of passing through cobra here. And then whenever you feel that everything is in the right place, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. You're going to once again make sure that the ribs clear the roll, and then go ahead and lay the head to one side. Now this is definitely a moment where you can actually feel the heart beating in the belly. Take a few breaths here and just allow the space to become a little bit more vulnerable. One of the reasons why we can have problems with digestion is because, once again, stress and tension, the universal bad guy. We're always clenching these things up instead of allowing them to just do their job. If we would relax a little bit, the body's wisdom would take over. So gently soften the belly and stay here for a few breaths, at least a minute. And then, of course, anyone who really wants to go for it can come back up through Cobra for a moment, bend the legs, and try their luck reaching back into Dhanurasana. This is crazy. This is my variation. I don't recommend it for all. But you can inhale and gradually start to peel the legs up and peel the chest up, and then really get into the areas that you need to be working. As you can see, my face is turning bright red. This is quite a bit of work. You might only stay there for a breath or two. And then slowly come down. Whew. Take a moment. I'm Liz, teaching for Brazilian Yoga and Pilates. Again, these were a couple of poses we did today on the rolled up blanket to stimulate the vagus nerve and aid in digestion.